We should not act outside of our stewardship. We learn also in the temple endowment, with the ceremony that Latter-day Saints receive in their beautiful buildings in the temples. We learn in the temple endowment that desires, appetites, and passions should be kept within the bounds the Lord has set. We talked about that earlier. When we act outside of our stewardship, our desires are outside the Lord's established parameters. We talked about stewardship earlier and how we are each given certain rules and responsibilities and means to be able to accomplish whatever it is that we seek. And this is referring to, so we each have responsibilities, but this is talking about the idea of compulsion, and when we go and we force our will on others that are not within our responsibilities, like our stewardship, we are outside of those rules. So essentially, that God has established. So essentially, this is a roundabout way of saying that compulsion outside of our stewardship is evil and will lead to destruction, whether ours as well as others. And you see that in examples where there's abuse. That's essentially the textbook definition of abuse, is when someone is being manipulative or emotional. That could be emotionally abusive, intellectually abusive, physically abusive. Physical and emotional abuse are the most common ones, it seems like. I have some experience with that. And when people act out, or like stealing, that's another thing. You're acting outside of your stewardship when you take somebody else's physical things that's part of their stewardship, and if you take it from them, then you're acting outside of the Lord's established parameters. You even see that in the rules or the laws of our country, like the fact that you can't steal, or like in our Constitution, where we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and no one can take that away from you. And if they do, they have to be accountable before the law, and actually before God is what the law said, what the Constitution says, or was that the Independence or Declaration of Independence? Yeah, at least it implies that. So, don't act outside of your stewardship, because it will lead to your self-destruction and hurt others as well.